So good morning, everybody, and happy last official day of Navaratri. I say official because the celebration is said to be 9 days or 9 nights dedicated to the goddess, but then there's actually a 10th bonus day. So tomorrow is the 10th bonus day. And I say it's a bonus day because it's not always included as far as I read with the regular celebration, but it's the day that it's said that we return home, right? So as though you've been on this long journey and you've been, trying to work out this long, complex, problem, there's the moment when you finally come to resolution, or there's a time when you come to a solution, or when you just simply come home, right? And that 10th day is that day, right? So it's said to be, it's a day of victory, right? Whatever you did or didn't do in the 9 days or 9 nights of Navaratri, is that 10th day is your day of victory. Right? So it's the day where you get to celebrate whatever awareness you have cultivated, where you get to celebrate whatever progress you have made. And that progress, even if it doesn't look like it's drastic, is significant. That's what we learn in a yoga practice, is that progress doesn't look always the way that we think that it's going to. It doesn't look like everything is in its place or everything is perfect or you no longer have any issues or any problems. It simply means that you have an awareness of where you are and an awareness of how much better you are than you thought, right? That's the victory in a yoga practice and a spiritual practice, is that you're no longer convinced of things being so impossible the way they may have been yesterday or 9 days ago or whatever. So that's really my thought for you, is that as we're moving into this final energy of this celebration or of this holiday, is to start to look at the progress that you have made in your life, right? So if you've been celebrating Navaratri, it can be the last 9 days, but you can simply look at how you have traveled, right? The journey that your life has taken you. And at this moment, can you let yourself arrive home, right? With that feeling that there's progress that has been made. Even if there's a sense that there's still so much work to do, can you be aware of the progress, right? Can you be aware of how much more you know yourself today than you did a year ago, right? And it's fine if there's still confusion. That's the beauty of the goddess, is that there's always going to be confusion, right? But the confusion is what continues to reveal to you the truth. So that's the practice, right? Is being able to feel that there's the chance to come home, and that you have to give yourself that opportunity to actually rest in the progress that you've made, right? To rest in the actual awareness that you've cultivated. If you never rest, you're going to feel always like there is something more that's pulling you. The practice of yoga is we get to that spot where nothing is pulling us, right? So comfortable seat, let your eyes close. Drop into your breath. That's part of that experience of letting yourself just stop and feel. Just to actually be one with that flow. There's an inhale that's happening, there's an exhale that's happening, and you're right there with it. Your triumphant return, it's not a return to a place outside of you, it's a return to this place inside of you. As you're watching the breath and maybe watching the activity of your mind, since it's still Saraswati energy today, and Saraswati is the energy of your breath, of your mind, can you imagine that whatever there is moving in that mind space, instead of it being a disturbance, we call it that too often, my mind is disturbed, my thoughts are disturbing my peace. Instead, can you see that like the hand of the goddess, right? The fingers trailing through water. Is that literally within that swirling of your thoughts, there is the greatest truth, the greatest inspiration, the greatest knowledge. It's as though your mind is being stirred by the divine. And whatever else is arising You just keep letting it move with the breath until that truth is all that's there. That's all that you see. One more deep breath in, full of breath, full inhale. And then exhale all the way out from the top of you to the bottom of you. Keep pushing the air out. Full exhale, navel to spine, no more air. And then let the breath rise in again. Inhale. Full breath up to the top. And then exhale all the way out from the top of you to the bottom. Empty. Navel to spine. Push the air out. Last time, inhaling, full breath in. And exhaling, full breath out. And then let the breath return to its normal flow, its normal capacity. And bring the hands together in front of the heart, palm to palm. We'll open with the sound of Om. Deep breath in. And let the eyes float open. Nice, you guys. You can release your hands. Bring your hands to your knees or your thighs. Please begin to cat-cow, seated cat-cow. And I'd like if you use your hands as real anchors here, so your arms stay awake while you are moving your spine. Good. So you use the hands to drag back as you lift your chest forward. You use the hands to hold you as you round into the back of your rib cage. So it means that your spine can go a little further because you're connected to that support. Good. And say in Navaratri, there's this progression through 3 forms, 3 versions of the goddess. It starts with Durga. And Durga is the energy that is that rooted solidness that we hang on to, right? We hang on to remember our strength. We hang on to remember to be resilient. And then we move through Lakshmi, we move into Saraswati, and these are energies that are much more ethereal, if you will. Saraswati certainly is. But if you forget where you started, you run into trouble. And this is our practice. If you forget where you started, which is as an infinite being, you run into trouble. Your mind starts to get really hung up on a bunch of other things. And you think that that's all there is, that's all you are. This is the basic problem that yoga says that we have, is you think you are your thoughts. Good. Start to come to stillness, please. Stretch the arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers. Press heels of the hands up to the sky. Pull through your ribs. Pull up through the arms. Good. And then keep your shoulders on top of your hips. But as you exhale, start to round into your back body. Push the arms forward, straight out from the chest. Good. And then inhale, stretch the arms all the way up again, pushing through the baby fingers of the hands. Exhale, bring the hands forward, round into the back body. Good. And then one more time, inhaling, lifting long, stretching through the sides of your ribs. Good. And then exhaling, curling around and pushing the hands out. Good. And then come back up to neutral, please. Release the hands down to the floor. Good. Roll forward onto hands and knees. And come into downward facing dog. Watching the piles of animals move off of your mats. Pedal your feet for a moment. Good. We cannot forget where we've come from. And if we're practicing, right, once you get a glimpse of this, you even get a concept of it, cannot forget. That becomes your whole practice, is just remembering. Good. Steady your heels towards the floor, please. Beautiful. Right leg comes up and back behind you. Down dog split. Come up on the ball of your left foot. So come up high, lift the heel, and then squeeze into your low belly. Push your hips back. Press out through that extended leg. Yes. Good. And then bring that knee forward, please. Armpits over your wrist. Touch that right knee to your left elbow. Squeeze in. Good. And then send that leg back and up behind you, down dog split. Bend the knee, kick your heel in towards your butt. Stack the right hip on top of the left. Yeah. You can do this on hands and knees if you need to. Point that knee towards the floor. Bring it forward again. Touch the left elbow. Armpits over your wrist. Good. And then take that leg up and back. Really nice, Andra. Bend the knee again. Heel in towards your butt. Stack the right hip on top of the left. Beautiful. And then one more time, knee points down towards the floor. Bring it forward. Touch that left elbow. Good. Squeeze in. Nice. And then leg up and back, down dog split. Extend. Beautiful. And then right foot steps forward between the hands. Lunge. Good job. Both hands come inside the front foot, please. Make nice big circles with that hip. Good. And I have to laugh when we're doing anything that's sort of repetitive like this, that you know is meant to warm up a joint, how aggressively you do it. Because some of you will go into it like, if I do this really, really fast, I can be done with it fast. So just notice, right, the way that you are moving through your practice. Are you moving with your breath, or is your body doing one thing and your mind is somewhere else? The whole point, right, is that we start to merge the feeling of our body with our mind, and the breath is what links that. Good. Come back to stillness, please. Walk your hands forward, straight ahead, up on fingertips, still inside the front knee. Yep, just still in the lunge. Just walk your fingertips forward and then pull your hips back. Squeeze that right butt cheek back and in. Lift your back thigh a little higher. Good. And then extend your collarbones, your chest forward. There it is. Nice, Perry. Good. Beautiful, you guys. Walk your hands back in to frame the front foot. Step your left foot forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight Parsvottanasana. Use blocks under the hands if you need. Nice, you guys. Scoop into your low belly, please. Drag that right hip back and wide. Pull your outer left hip, that's your back hip, forward. That's it. Deep breath in. Deeper breath out. Good. Saraswati is the energy of your mind and your breath, the link between them. So she's that space of the connections between all of the pieces of your life. She's the background of all of the pieces of your life. So you're not going to find her in just one thing. Although if you're looking for her, the easiest place is going to be in the way that you think and the way that you speak, communication. Good. Take one more breath. And then come up on the heel of that front foot. So lift the toes, drag down and back. So you're pulling that thigh up and into the hip socket. And as you do, push your sacrum up to the sky a little more. Good. And then relax your shoulders. Thank you. And then take that right foot back down to the floor, please. Nice job. Step your left foot forward alongside your right, standing forward fold. Good. Bend your knees, drop your sit bones low for chair. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Good. Come up on the tippy toes of your feet. Yeah, come all the way up to stand on your tippy toes if you can, lifting through the front of your thighs. Beautiful. Drop the heels to the floor. Bend your knees, drop back into chair. Good. Release the hands down to the floor or blocks. Round into your belly. Don't straighten the legs. I didn't say straighten the legs. Simon says, round your belly. You're all out. I win. Good. Now straighten the legs with your belly rounded. Press your hips to the sky. Nice. Separate your feet as wide as your mat, toes facing forward. Good. Bring your right hand straight underneath you. Take the left arm up to the sky. So both legs are straight. Good. Spinal twist. Left arm up. Good. And then release that hand down. Left hand touches down. Right arm to the sky with your breath. Inhale. Open the chest. Keep your both thighs wide. And then release that right hand down. Next inhale. Left arm goes up. Spinal twist. Opening the chest. Don't just swing the arm up. Good. Release that hand down. Next breath up. Right arm goes to the sky. Good. And then release that hand down. Pause for a moment. Beautiful. Bend your knees, drop your thighs parallel to the floor. Walk your fingertips straight ahead. Good. So you're in like a wide chair pose, and then cat-cow your spine. Keep your hips low. Good. Watch that your feet are not splaying out. So you're not rolling just onto the baby toe edge of your feet. Keep your shins hugging in. Good. You got it. And thighs pulling back. Nice, you guys. Been really focused on for Saraswati, this energy of your spine, the mobility of your spine, because that energetically is how we manifest all of those subtle energies through our body, is the spine, is the seat of the chakras, your energy centers. Good. Come back to stillness, please. Walk your hands back in towards your feet, straighten your legs, deep bow. Nice. And then heel toe your feet a little closer. Step yourself back, downward facing dog. Nice. Left leg comes up and back behind you, down dog split. Come up high on the ball of your right foot. So pull up, pull up, pull up, squeeze the feet towards each other, pull your hips back, press out through that extended leg. Nice, Sarah. Good. And then bring that left knee forward towards your nose and then bring it out to touch your right elbow. So squeeze, come across your body. That's it. And then take it up and back behind you. Down dog split, bend the knee, heel in towards your butt, stack the left hip on top of the right. Beautiful. Point the knee down towards the floor, bring it forward, touch that right elbow. That's an exhale, right? So bring it forward, exhale, squeeze. Good. And then inhale, sweep the leg back and up, down dog split. Knee bends, heel in, stack the hip. Beautiful exhale there. Good. And then point the knee towards the floor. Inhale. As you exhale, bring the knee forward and touch that right elbow, squeeze. Good. And then inhale the leg back and up behind you, straight extend. Nice. And then step the foot forward between the hands. Beautiful. Both hands come inside the front foot. Start to do big hip circles. Again, fast is fine. Just make sure that you're not trying to rush through the action, that you're actually moving your whole pelvis. So that backwards action of the pelvis is super important. You're not just rolling forward, as you're rolling all the way 360 degrees. Good. So you want to lift your butt a little bit on that backwards action. Yeah. So that you're actually shifting your legs in your hip socket. Good. That's what makes the magic. You have to move yourselves in not the standard way, not the rigid way. Good. Come back to stillness, please. Both hands still inside. Walk the hands forward. Come onto your fingertips. So nice long spine. Butt lifts a little more to press back behind you. Back thigh lifts a little more to press back behind you. Good. Left butt cheek squeezes in. Yeah, and then lift your chest forward and up. Again, this is about the length of your spine. Good. Don't let that butt drop because you lifted your chest. Yeah, good. You guys walk the hands back in, please. Step the right foot forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight Parsvottanasana. Use blocks if you'd like. Beautiful. I've been very much in the mode of, again, the versions of the goddess or the variations of the goddesses. Durga, we always talk about as strength because that's what she is. She's the warrior. And so she always is asking us to pay attention to what we stand for, what we stand on. But then we get to Lakshmi, who's beauty and prosperity, and we think, oh, what a nice, soft, gentle energy. And then we go to Saraswati, and she's poetry and communication and inspiration. And we think, oh, what a nice, gentle, softness there. No. They're all powerful places. And if you don't tap into the power of those places in you, then you're not going to feel that you are fully strong. You're not going to feel like you're fully integrated. Squeeze those legs towards each other. Next breath, come up on the heel. Lift the toes of the front foot. Good. Drag back and up. So that left thigh bone is pulling up and in, and your pelvis, your sacrum is pushing up towards the sky. And then relax your chest, relax your shoulders. Good. And then let that left foot touch down to the floor, please. Step your right foot forward alongside the left, standing forward fold. Feet underneath the hips. Good. Bend your knees. Sweep the arms up to chair. Good. Come up on your tippy toes. Yep. Come all the way up to straight legs on your tippy toes. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up through your spine. Pull up. Yes, good, Lydia. Drop the heels to the floor, please. Bend your knees, drop back to chair. Hands at heart center, prayer twist to your right. Good, so it's the left elbow hooks on the outside of the right knee. Beautiful. Don't let those knees fall in, push them wide. Come back to center, stretch the arms up, still in chair. And then hands back to the heart, prayer twist the other way, to the left. Good, that's so that you reset the commitment of your shoulders. You reset the commitment of your spine. Instead of just saying, well, I've already was a little stuck from the first prayer twist, so I'll just stay that stuck while I go into the second side. No, thank you. Come back to center, arms extend, full chair, reach out. Beautiful, come all the way up to stand. Nice job. And then hug the right knee up and towards your chest. Good job, you guys. Right knee squeezes in. Good. Left hand comes to the outer edge of your right knee. So you're reaching into that twist again. Right arm extends back behind you. Good. So standing twist. Push your butt back in space. Push the top of your left thigh back in space. Try to play with turning your gaze to the right so that you're turning your whole upper body into the twist. Yeah. And then optional, if you feel pretty good here, straighten that right leg. Nice. Yeah. If you're reaching for the foot, that's a great option. Good. And then bring it all the way back in, release the twist, and step that foot down to the floor. Good, you guys. Second side. Left knee comes up in towards your chest. I don't like to give you too much room to think in between sides on standing balances. Good. Right hand reaches to outer left knee. Push that knee wide into your hand. Flex the foot. So this is what creates stability. Navel to spine. Push your butt back in space. Push the top of your right thigh back in space. And then start to reach to your left. Good. Left arm extends back behind you. If you can, play with turning your gaze, but push your butt back. Lift your low belly. Nice, Mark. Nice, Perry. And then optional, straighten that leg if you'd like. You got it, Linda. Nice, Laura. Keep pushing your butt back. If you straighten that leg, you got to push your butt back more. Good. And then bring the knee back in. Really nice, Susan. And unwind yourself. Release the twist. Plant both feet. Bend your knees. Drop back into chair. What progress have you made? Good. Take your hands back behind you. Interlace your fingers at the low spine, still in chair. Good. Pull those shoulders up towards your ears. Hug the upper arms towards each other and then pull your low rib cage in. Try and find your arms with the back of your rib cage. Good. Ribs in, Anne. There you go. Nice, you guys. And then chest lifts just a little higher. Now maintain that. Start to straighten your legs. Drop your head. Take the arms up and over any amount, but stay with that feeling that you are trying to continue to lift up into the back of your rib cage. Good. So keep hugging the upper arms, but stay full in the upper back. Don't let the ribs fall forward. Nice. And then release the hands down to the floor. Nice job. Separate your feet as wide as your mat. Right hand reaches for left ankle. Left arm comes to the sky. Yep, right hand to left ankle, left arm to the sky. There you go. You got it, Susan. Nice, Lana. Just bring your left shoulder back a little more. There you go. And then release, you guys. Come back to center. Go to the other side. Left hand reaches for right ankle. Right arm comes to the sky. And again, you are reaching open from your chest, from your spine. So it should feel a little bit like you're trying to fall back towards the upper left-hand corner of your mat. Good. And then release the hand. Come back to center, please. Nice job. Heel toe your feet a little closer. Step back to plank pose, upward push up. Good. Lower down slow, coming through knees first if you need, to your belly. Pointing the toes back behind you. Rise up, little baby cobra. Lift head, neck, and chest. Good. And then release back down. You're moving with your breath, coming in and out of cobra. So you're inhaling, lifting from the back of your heart, and then exhaling, flowing down. So I want you to make it a very fluid sort of wave-like action. So there's not that experience of I push into the floor and I'm in cobra, and then I'm out of cobra, and then I'm in cobra, and then I'm out of cobra. Move with your breath. Good. Move as though you are articulating your spine. That means each vertebra is being stacked on top of the ones below it. Good. Nice, you guys. And you're playing with how much work your arms are doing versus how much work your back is doing. Your arms should be doing almost no work. There should be an anchoring there, of pushing into the hands, but the work should really be from your back, from your armpits, from the back of your shoulder blades. Squeeze along your spine. And this is what I mean, is we don't take the opportunities to learn how to be powerful in ourselves, then there's no amount of praying to any divine being that's going to give you that power. That's the energy of the goddess. She says that, yeah, I represent this, I am this, and so are you. So until you're ready to own it, until you're ready to be it, keep calling my name, but it's up to you. You have to be willing to feel abundant. You have to be willing to feel inspired. You have to be willing to feel powerful. So what is the progress that you've made in your life towards that? Good. Release back to your belly, please. Pause for a moment. Make a pillow with your hands, elbows wide. Breathe into the whole spine. The chakras, the energy centers, as we talk about them as though they are all distinct, but they're not. They're a system. They work with each other, off of each other. So whatever is happening in one is informing the activity of all of the others. We often say energetically that we're moving from our energy of the root chakra up to the crown. So we're moving from what is the heaviest, densest energy up to the most ethereal. And we think that that's progress, right? The closer I can get to the ethereal and away from the dense, that's progress. But what allows you to maintain connection to that ethereal infinite self is your root. If that dense energy is not something that you understand, it's not something that you have clarity about, then that infinite self will elude you. So what is progress? It's how much have you come to understand yourself through your life? Good. Forehead to the floor. Bring your elbows underneath your shoulders for Sphinx pose. Press into the forearms. Pam's cat is doing a really good job here. She's going to love this in a second. Drag your arms back, chest up, 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 up. Good. And then tuck the toes, please. Look towards your belly button. Good. With the knees on the floor, pull up through your inner thighs. So practice that. As you push up through your inner thighs, you pull that low belly space in and up to support your lower spine. Now lift the knees, come into forearm plank. Good. A little easier, right? Because you weren't just throwing the weight of your pelvis up into the air and hoping. Good. Maybe you still were. That's okay. Start to walk your feet forward. Lift your hips into forearm dog. There goes the cat. Nice, you guys. Keep pushing into the forearms. Keep lifting that place of your low belly and drawing your ribs in. Good. And then if you're pretty happy here, take right leg up to the sky. Come up on the ball of your left foot. Lift. Yeah. And then release that leg. Do the other one. Take the left leg up. And then pull up onto the ball of that right foot. Lift. And then nice, Alice. And then both feet find the floor. Really good, Harriet. Good, Debbie. Drop the knees to the floor, please. Press back, child's pose. Nice. The 10th day of Navaratri is what progress have you made? And even if you are only becoming aware of how much more there is to do, that's progress. Awareness is progress. You get excited like an architect that suddenly sees the space that you have to work with and say, oh my gosh, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. This is what's available to me. We call that freedom. When you have an awareness of how much is available to you. Walk your torso to the upper right, over the right thigh. And that's that 10th day. It said you return home victorious. And the land is free, right? Because the beginning of this journey with Durga is slaying demons. It's always how it starts. And so if you've confronted the demons in you, even if you know they're going to come back, you're sure they're going to come back. Walk back to center, please. Go to your left. The awareness that you have of the power that is available to you to keep fighting them for as long as you need to keep dissolving them as long as you need to. That's freedom. That's the victory, is that you are unbeatable by any of those forces. And that's the gift of the goddess. She says, anything that you need, I give. But you have to acknowledge that you need it, and you have to be the one to use it. Come back to center. But what is the progress that you've made in all the days of your life? Come back up to hands and knees, please. Stretch your right arm out wide to the right. Slide behind the left wrist, right shoulder finds the floor, turn your gaze. Good, walk the left arm forward towards straight, threading the needle. Press into your shins. Good. Yeah, any variation, if you want to take that bind with the top arm, you're welcome to do that. It's always interesting if you're choosing to do more complicated variations. Are you doing it because you legitimately want to stretch that body part, or are you doing it because you're bored? I'm just curious. Good. Stretch that arm back to the sky if it's in the bind. Bring it back overhead, and then come back up to hands and knees. Go to the other side. Left arm goes wide. Slide behind the right wrist. Turn your gaze. Walk the right arm forward towards straight. And whenever I'm teasing you about things like that, right, asking you to just wonder if you're doing things because, you're bored or you just don't feel like doing what I'm saying, I'm teasing myself at the same time, because I totally have been in poses where I'm just bored. So I look for variations to do. And as long as we know what our mind is doing and we're clear on the actions that we're taking, where it's coming from, right, that's what allows us to live that enlightened life, the inspired life. So if you know that you're going for the bind because you're bored not doing the bind, no problem. Just know that that's what you're doing. Right? Saraswati, the power of your mind is being aware of how and when you lie to yourself, how you disrupt the truth because it's convenient. Stretch that arm back up to the sky, and then bring it back down overhead. Walk back up to hands and knees. Good. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, come into downward facing dog. Beautiful. Right leg steps forward between the hands. Good. Walk your fingertips forward, step up, standing split. Make sure you are able to touch something easily. So if you have blocks and you want to use blocks, use blocks. Good, but I want your hands to be flat on something. So if you can't have your hands flat on the floor in a standing split, make sure you have blocks. Good, and if you don't have blocks and your hands can't be flat on the floor, don't worry, you won't explode. It's fine. Good, nice, you guys. So come up on the ball of your right foot, your standing leg, come up on the tippy toes. Let your weight fall into your hands. Left leg is lifted. Let your weight fall into your hands. Push into your hands. And then pull those shoulder blades towards each other on your back. Squeeze your lower armpits and look slightly forward towards your fingertips. Good, and really fall into your hands and keep lifting your butt, keep lifting your butt. For some of you who are pretty comfortable here, maybe you want to take a little baby kick up towards handstand. I know you're in the middle of your room. I know you've got furniture around. Yes, nice, Alice. Good, even if it's a ton, good, Perry. Yes, good, Anne. Beautiful. And then slowly bring it down, please. Good. Walk your feet back to downward facing dog. So feet to the floor, walk your feet back down dog. Nice job. Slide forward to plank. Good. Blocks not under your hands for this. Feet together, big toes and heels to touch. Roll onto the baby toe edge of your right foot. Right hand holds you, left arm to the sky, Vasisthasana. Good. Reach through that left armpit, pull up. You can also do this with the bottom knee on the floor if you need. Awesome. Nice, Rosalind. Release the hands back down to the floor. Downward facing dog. Lift the hips, press back. And then slide forward to plank for the other side. Bring the armpits over the wrist. Left hand holds you. Come onto the baby toe of your left foot, stacking the hips. Right arm to the sky. Pull up. And press into that left hand. So it's an equal pressure. It's an equal awareness. My connection to the ethereal and my connection to the physical. Good. Back to downward facing dog. Nice. Left foot steps forward between the hands. Walk your fingertips forward, step up, standing split, have your blocks with you again. Good. You're coming up on the tippy toes of your left foot. Yeah, letting your weight fall into your hands. So you've got something to push into. And even if you're not kicking up into handstand, I still want you to push into your arms. You can even let the elbows bend a little bit so that you can feel, again, your back waking up. As the elbows bend, you can squeeze into your armpits, squeeze into your shoulders more, and then keep that squeeze and push into your hands. And if you're going for that little kick towards handstand, go for it. Nice. Good, Carla. Nice, Mark. Beautiful. Awesome, awesome. Even if in your mind, you're imagining that you're kicking up into handstand. Yes, really beautiful, Alice. And then slowly release the foot back down to the floor, hands off of your block, step back, downward facing dog. I know. Drop the knees to the floor, child's pose. Saraswati is found most prevalently in those higher chakras, especially your throat, third eye, crown. So inverting is a powerful place to work with your mind. Because the mind has to come into focus to do it, and then it comes into relaxation afterwards. Good. Walk your hands back in, please. Come back, downward facing dog. And it's fun. You can't tell me different. It's not true. Inverting is fun. Good. Right leg comes up and back behind you. Let's go there. Right leg up and back. Good. Bring that right knee forward and wide for pigeon. So right knee towards your right wrist. Beautiful. Sliding the left leg back. Good. Walk the fingertips forward, come down to rest. Nice if you want to continue to have that little pillow with your hands that your forehead rests on, or place a block underneath your forehead. Again, it's a way to stimulate that energy point, right? The physical point that we have for the third eye is that space between the eyebrows on the forehead. So a block or hands underneath that space is nice. And if there's nothing to put pressure there, if you're on your back doing pigeon, you can also just bring your awareness there, that as you're breathing into that third eye space. And the energy of the third eye is the place where all of duality becomes one. There's no more question of this versus that. There's simply a unified reality, a unified experience. And what I like about that especially is that this is happening at the last or first chakra, whichever one you want to say, that is rooted in the physical body. The crown chakra is, considered just beyond the physical. But the third eye still holds that ability to take that unified infinite reality, and it still exists in physical form. Your brain, your mind has the ability to perceive that. The energy of Saraswati says, start to look beyond the habits of your thinking so that you can feel that that unified reality is there. And then the way you respond to the world, again, she's your throat, all forms of expression, not just verbal. The way you express yourself in the world, even just by simply breathing. If it's a reflection of that unity, then it will create unity. It will create that same sense of peacefulness. Breathe deeply into that space of the third eye, a place that sees only truth. And then don't deny it. Whatever comes up in your mind from that space that is different than the way you habitually think about things, don't deny it. Good. Walk yourself back up, please. Sit towards that right hip, swing your left leg around in front of you. Good. Bring the right foot to the inside of your left thigh. Start there. Inhale these. So Janu Shirshasana, right foot to the inside of your left thigh. Left leg is extended straight out in front of you. There you go. Arms up. You need a blanket under your seat. Make sure you have it. Little twist to your left, please. Bow over the left leg. Bow over the extended leg. Good. So you're reaching long through the front of your body here, but then allow the back of your body, once you have extended as far as the extension is going to go from your pelvis, then let the upper back round a little bit. Let yourself relax, arrive. Good. And then walk yourself back up, please. Beautiful. You're going to bring your left knee in towards your chest, and then you're going to reach, you're going to lift that foot. Right hand comes to the baby toe edge of your left foot. So you're coming into the twist. So you're crossing the body. Right hand to baby toe. You're going to straighten that leg out in front of you. There you go. So it's, yep. So it's a twist. You got it. Yep. And then left hand reaches back behind you. So it's the same twist that you did standing up. You're just doing it sitting down now. If you need to stretch that right leg out to straight for balance, stretch it out straight in front of you. Turn your belly, turn your shoulders, turn your gaze to the left. Good. And don't let your left leg fall towards the center. Pull that to the left. There you go, Harriet. Nice, Sue. Good, Sandy. You got it. Nice, Marlene. Good. Come back to center, please. Bring that left knee in towards your chest. Beautiful. Hold the, now switch your hand. So bring the left elbow inside the left knee. Reach for the baby toe. So same hand, same foot. Draw that left knee out wide to the left. Extend the leg straight out to the side. You got it. Yeah, stay forward towards the front of your sit bones. Right arm can extend out to the right because some of your hands look like they don't know what to do. Good, chest up. Beautiful. And then bend the knee back in towards your chest. Good, so you're either gonna come to that again, or you're gonna switch the hands one more time. Bring that left arm inside your knee. You're gonna reach with the right hand, if I'm getting this right, for the baby toe edge of your foot. Yep, and you're gonna start to bring that left knee up over your left shoulder. So maybe that makes more sense. So don't reach for the foot yet. Bring the knee up over the shoulder. There you go. Left hand touches down to the floor. And then your right hand holds the baby toe. You're gonna start to extend that leg out to straight out to the side, curl underneath your arm, underneath that right armpit, look up. You got it. Yeah. Good. It's awkward and weird. Beautiful. Nice, Mia. And then slowly come on out, whatever that was. Hug your knee in towards your chest. Extend both legs out in front of you. Sundial pose, that's what that's called. Inhale, both arms up to the sky. Bow forward, reaching towards the feet. Good. Again, what progress have you made? Even if it's an awareness of, wow, that variation is not for me today. It's progress. Knowing that it's even an option if you have never seen that pose before. You know what is available to you. It's progress. Walk yourself back up, please. Bend both knees, cross the ankles, roll forward to hands and knees. Step yourself back downward facing dog. Believe it or not, we started this whole thing from pigeon. I didn't forget. Maybe you hoped I would. Left leg up and back, down dog split. Good, bring that knee forward and wide, pigeon pose. Knee goes towards the left wrist. Heel crosses towards the opposite hip point. Slide that right leg back. Good, and then find yourself coming to rest, walking forward onto the forearms, onto the elbows, block. Good, so your hip points are facing towards the floor, unless you're doing pigeon on your back. If you're doing pigeon on your back, then your sacrum is anchored to the floor. You still want to have a sense that your extended thigh, your back thigh, that hip is rotating slightly forward. So the right hip spins slightly forward. And that left hip pulls a little wider. And again, a little pressure underneath the forehead, block, or your hands. Breathe into that third eye space. Making a practice with your mind, I find that I enjoy being in the space of recognizing when and how I am fooling myself, lying to myself, and then sticking with it anyway. You be very aware that I'm lying to myself, but I'm going to stick with it because of X, Y, and Z. It's still progress. Right? Recognizing what's going on in your mind does not mean that there is a pressure to somehow make it different instantaneously. The progress is that you become aware. And the more aware you are, the attachment that you have to doing things a certain way, to thinking a certain way, behaving a certain way becomes less. And eventually it will be simpler, easier to simply say, I'm going to change it. But it doesn't have to be instantaneous. Relieve yourself of that pressure. And saying a lot these 9 days is there's no expiration date on the goddess. If you didn't get everything that you wanted to get done in 9 days or 9 years or 9 lifetimes, there's no expiration date. If you have a sincere desire to do it, you will do it at some point when you're ready, when the time is right. So relieve yourself of that pressure to be more, do more, and dislike yourself because of what you haven't done. That's the trap of the mind. You're returning home victorious, whatever your progress has been, even if it's just being aware that you've been trapping yourself with that unhappiness. Progress. Walk yourself back up, please. Sit towards that left hip, swing your right leg around in front of you. Good. Left foot comes to the inside of the right thigh. Janu Shirshasana, inhale the arms up to the sky. Little twist to your right, bow over the right leg. Good, and then again, remembering that you are extending first through the front of your body from your sacrum, from your pelvis, reach as long as you can. And then when you've reached as long as you can, then relax, let the spine round. So there's still going to be that sense that the body is reaching, but you don't have to stay in that state of tension, as though if you just hold yourself really rigid, that somehow you're going to make more progress in the pose. Stay aware, keep your foot awake. Good. Keep a feeling of lengthening your sacrum back, but allow the back, the spine, to do what it needs to do. Good. The free flow of energy through the spine, the Sushumna, is how that infinite energy translates into this physical form without obstruction. If your spine is locked up, your mind is locked up, the flow of that energy gets convoluted, confused. Walk yourself back up, please. Nice job. So again, if the left leg has to extend forward for balance for this next bunch of poses, that's totally fine. You can extend that left leg to straight. Just remember that you're working with the right leg. So right knee comes in towards your chest, coming into that straight leg twist first. So the left hand is reaching for the baby toe edge of your foot, crossing the body. Lift that right foot up off the floor, extend it straight forward from the hip. Right arm extends back behind you. Good. You're leaning forward towards the front edge of your pelvis. Good. Nice, you guys. Don't let that leg swing towards the middle. Push it wide. So Rosalind, move it wide to the right. There you go, Marlene. That's it. Good. Mark, turn to look to your right. There you go. That probably feels a little easier on your neck. Nice, Lauren. Awesome. Come back to center, please. Bring that knee in. Now you're going to switch the hands, right elbow inside the knee, reach for the baby toe edge of your foot, bring that right knee wide towards your armpit, and then extend it straight out to the side. Good. Left arm goes out to the side just so that you have a complete sense of both shoulders are working. Chest lifts up. Yeah, roll towards that front edge of your sit bones. Beautiful. And then bring it back in, please. And again, this might be where you come back to that same position. If you know that you're not going for sundial, that's fine. If you are going for sundial, bring that right knee back and wide. You're going to start to hike it up over your right shoulder. So your right hand has to come inside. Bring that knee up as high as it will go towards your shoulder. Your right butt cheek can lift up off the floor, no problem. And then right hand presses down to the floor. Yep. Opposite hand, left hand reaches for the baby toe. So you're crossing the body again. Start to extend that leg to straight. It's going to push into that upper arm, push your upper arm back into the inside of your leg and twist to your left. Look up underneath that left armpit. Yeah. Good job choosing the right variation for you. Nice, Lauren. Good, Laura. Good, Mia. Good, Linda. Nice, you guys. And then slowly release, unwind yourself. Wow. Good job. Stretch your legs straight out in front of you. Good. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Press the tops of the thighs down, lift through your ribs, bow forward, Paschimottanasana. Beautiful. And then walk yourself back up, please. Nice job. Scoot forward, please. Come onto your backs. Little supported bridge pose. So if you have a block, place the block underneath your sacrum and bridge. If you don't have a block, my suggestion is maybe you could come into a bridge pose for a couple of breaths, but I don't want you to hold it for very long because that's a lot of muscular energy. That's not my intention right now. So if you don't have a block, you can just stretch your legs straight up to the sky, or if you have furniture handy that you can put your calves up on. So you're doing like a simulated legs up the wall, that would be the better option. Good. If you have your sacrum on the block, if you'd like to take your legs straight up to the sky, you're welcome to do that. Shoulder stand variation. Again, the act of inverting, very beneficial for the mind, very beneficial for the brain in general. Good. Can you be powerful and relaxed? Rhetorical question. The answer is yes, you can. Can you feel for yourself what the reality is for you as an individual, as you know yourself, to be relaxed and fully aware of how powerful you are? And wherever there is a place in you that says, no, I'm not so powerful there, the awareness of that is progress. A willingness to extend curiosity to how to feel powerful in those places is progress. And then whatever you do that helps you to develop a sense of feeling powerful in those places is progress. Right? That's why we have many forms. The goddess shows up in every form because there are infinite ways that we can confuse ourselves. And so there are infinite ways that she tries to remind us that you started from a place of perfection and that you never actually had the ability to ruin it. All you've done is lost sight of what perfection feels like. So you come back home. It's the 10th day. I arrive back home victorious. Whatever progress I have made, Last couple of breaths here. So if your sense of your intuitive self does not feel powerful, meditate on that. If you don't feel abundantly generous, or your abundance does not feel like a powerful place, meditate on that. If you feel like you have a lot of fear, inability to act, it doesn't feel powerful, meditate on that. Release the feet to the floor. Depending on what you're meditating on, the form of the goddess that appears is either Durga for fear and taking action, Lakshmi for your abundance, Saraswati for your intuitive, inspired life. They're all the same. Good. Lift the hips up off of the block, please. Place the block to the side. Slowly let your hips come back to the floor. Pause there for a moment, feet flat, knees bent. Good. And then draw the knees in towards your chest, please. Come into happy baby. Draw the knees wide. Reach for the ankles or the insteps or the outer edges of the feet. Really, anything goes. Keep your low back anchored to the floor. So the knees are wide. Your shins hug in just a little bit. Your knees should be the widest part of your pose. And soles of the feet up towards the ceiling, like you're going to walk on the ceiling. So Susan, bring your feet up a little more. There you go. Nice, Lana. Good, Sue. Anchor your low back to the floor. Beautiful. Good, and then release the feet. Please cross your right thigh over top of your left, wrapping the inner thighs and the outer shins like your legs are an eagle. Good, take the left arm over top of the right in front of your chest, wrapping the arms for eagle. Good, don't let your hands fall on your face. Keep your low back anchored to the floor. Shins parallel to the floor. So bend your knees a little bit more and drop your shins. There you go. Good. Just pause there for a breath. Feel the backs of your shoulders on the floor, your armpits reaching for the floor, low back widening. Good. And then release the arms out wide, letter T. Scoot your hips over to the right, drop your knees to the left with the legs wrapped. If twisting with the legs in this position does not feel good for the knees or the hips or anything else, unwind the legs, just stack the knees on top of each other. Good. And then slowly release the legs, unwind, come back to center. Good, you're gonna switch the cross of your legs. The left leg comes on top of the right, pressing the shins together, shins parallel to the floor. Right arm comes on top of left in front of your chest. And again, if that's what you just did before, then just make sure you do both crosses. So switch if that's not what is the opposite side for you. Good, pressing the forearms together, inner armpits reach down to the floor. Good, so your shoulder blades are getting wide on the floor. Your lower back is getting wide on the floor. Press your shins together. There you go. That helps to change the angle of the leg in the hip socket. Good, deep breath. Relax into that back body. And then let the arms go out wide, please. Scoot your hips over to the left, drop your knees to the right. Again, if having the legs wrapped does not feel good on knees, hips, lower back, unwind the legs and just stack the knees. And then slowly bring yourself back to center, unwinding your twist. Good. Hug the knees in. Yeah. And then release the legs out in front of you. shoulders on the floor. You're going to lift your legs. So I know you've got one more pose. I'm sorry. So keep the feet together. Lift your legs up a couple inches off of the floor, just a couple inches. Yep, scoop into that low belly. Knees can be bent here if they need to be. And then lift head, neck, and chest. Look at your belly button. Extend those arms straight towards your feet. Good. And press into your back body. So you're drawing the low belly in and you're pressing back and down, hollow. That's it. Shoulders away from ears. Don't look miserable. One more breath. Good. And then release. Nice, you guys. I know. Walk your feet to the bottom right-hand corner of your mat. Cross one ankle, take your shoulders to the upper right-hand corner, reaching for opposite elbows or wrists. Because we cannot forget that if you're working with the spine, you have to work with that muscular energy of your navel, the muscular energy of the front of your body that helps keep the integrity of your spine. Breathe very deeply. The breath is the link between the body and the mind, between this very finite self and the infinite. It's just the breath. And we can't quite believe that because it's so simple. But if you really drop into your breath 100%, that's where it carries you. Walk yourself back to center, please. Pause for a moment, arms wide, legs wide. And then walk through the other direction, feet to the bottom left-hand corner of your mat, cross one ankle, shoulders to the upper left-hand corner, holding opposite wrists or elbows, or not holding anything. If the arms are not happy in that position, put them somewhere else. No matter how far you go, you are always in the process of returning home. And returning home is not a physical outside space. Returning home is the space of this body and this mind. But it's an awareness of this body and this mind as a place that that infinite self resides. So what is the progress that you have made in all the days of your life? Walk yourself back to center, please. Pausing a moment again with the legs wide, the arms wide. And then from that wide position, let the feet come just a little bit closer to where it feels easeful on the hips. Let your arms drop down alongside you just enough so that it feels easeful on your shoulders. Palms up. And you're settling for Shavasana. But let it be a nice, wide, expansive Shavasana. Take up as much space as you want. You're in your own home. Take up space. Inside your own mind. This is your inner home. Take up space. And then practice dropping into your breath. And anything that rises up in your mind as part of the process of falling into your breath is it's just the divine stirring your mind. So that whatever is covering over the deepest truth, the deepest knowledge, the deepest whatever feelings you want to be feeling, they're just moving it aside. So you keep breathing and you allow what is beneath the surface to keep rising. Deep, deep breaths. Very gently bring the awareness back to your breath. Letting the body begin to stretch and move in whatever ways serve it well. And as you're ready, draw your knees in towards your chest, roll to the right side. And take a moment there before you begin to push the floor away. Come back to an upright seated position. Bring the hands together in front of the heart center, palm to palm. Or again, any mudra that's been serving you well. If you prefer the lotus mudra, it's a nice one for the goddess, bringing the middle three fingers away from each other. Pinkies and thumbs continue to touch. So all of your options available. And Saraswati is, amongst all of the other things I've said, our awareness of spiritual practice, our dedication to spirit, to living a spiritual life. And what that means is you're living a life from the reality of your soul, not from just what your mind thinks is a good idea or is a bad idea. And so to live that life, we have to study it. We have to study who that internal self is, because our mind is forgotten. So Saraswati is that reminder, and she comes at the end of Navaratri as the reminder that this is what's the most important, is that your attention is on that spiritual progress, not on attaining, not on achieving, but on consistently remembering that there is something beyond your mind. There's a you that is beyond the way that you think. And if you're reaching for that, that's the practice. If you're reaching for that, not even achieving it, if you're reaching for it, that's the goal, to keep reaching. So the 10th day is the day that you celebrate your victorious return home to yourself. And your progress, whatever it has been, is in how much awareness you have of who you are, how much awareness you have of what's available to you. Because if you know that there's space, then you're free. If you believe that everything is decided for you already, you may still feel like this life is one of bondage, suffering. The goddess says, I'm here eternally. You're the one who has to know yourself as that power for it to be real, for it to be true. Don't forget. We'll close with the sound of Om, deep breath in. Sliding the thumbs up to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week until I see you again. Don't forget, Mondays, 4:30 p.m. Keep rearranging your schedules. I know you all have the ability to do it. Just do it. But starting next week, again, we should have this class open for hybrid options. So if you're interested in that, keep your eyes open for when you can sign up for that. And you have to unmute yourselves to talk to me.
I joined late, so I wasn't able